Alright folks, so this is the new vivomove Trend Hybrid Smartwatch from Garmin, and this continues with Garmin's hybrid smartwatch lineup by offering a bit more premium offering than the vivomove Sport that came out last year. The vivomove Trend comes with plenty of upgrades over the vivomove Sport, including a full LCD display, Garmin Pay, an altimeter so it'll track your floors climbed, and a stainless steel bezel. But arguably the biggest news with the vivomove Trend is that it's the first wearable we're seeing from Garmin with wireless charging. So in today's video we're going to go over what's new with this new vivomove Trend. We'll go over how it works in terms of getting around the device and the interface, what features it has to offer in terms of smartwatch features, health features, as well as fitness features, how it differs from the vivomove Sport, and I've even got some examples for you in regards to how well it performs for workouts in regards to heart rate accuracy. And if you do happen to find the information in this video useful, do me a favor and hit that like button down below. It's a small little thing that you can do that'll help this video and the channel quite a bit, and I appreciate it. So at first glance, when the displays are off, there's really not much of a difference between this and the vivomove Sport, where it's pretty similar in terms of style for the most part. However, the vivomove Trend has a stainless steel bezel versus the resin bezel on the vivomove Sport. The biggest difference though is when you wake up the displays, where with the new vivomove Trend, it's a full LCD display that fills up both the top and bottom of the watch face versus the vivomove Sport, which just has a display that fills up the bottom of the watch face. And of course, since it fills up the entire watch face, there's just a lot more pixels to deal with. So with the vivomove Trend, it has a resolution of 346 by 254 pixels versus the 132 by 64 pixels on the vivomove Sport. Oh, and they also have changed the display technology to LCD on the vivomove Trend versus the OLED that's found on the vivomove Sport. And the refresh rate is actually a lot higher in this display, as there's just a little bit of flickering that you may have seen on the Sport, but that was just only on video. You actually really can't notice that flickering in real life. Either way, that's all but gone with the vivomove Trend. The vivomove Trend is also water resistant, so it'll be perfectly fine taking a shower with it, or even taking it in the pool, or even better yet, the hot tub. But just like the vivomove Sport, since it's a hybrid smartwatch with both analog hands as well as a digital display, the hands move away to not obstruct the display while you're interacting with it. And then when you're not interacting with it, the hands just simply move back to telling the time like normal. And it's pretty cool how they've utilized these watch hands in the interface. So for the most part, when you interact with it, the hands move to a horizontal position, so there's plenty of room to view the display beneath it. But they actually utilize the hands as gauges in certain areas. Like here for steps, it actually acts like a gauge telling me that I need to get in a bit more steps today. And this even works during workouts with a heart rate gauge. It's pretty cool. So to wake up the display, all you have to do is either raise or turn your wrist or just double tap on the screen. And to get around the device, you can just simply swipe up or down to get to the widgets that show different kinds of information. So the first widget we have is the steps widget, which shows your current step count for the day. Then we have floors climbed, intensity minutes, which is how much time you've spent doing vigorous activity during workouts in the week. Then we have body battery, which basically gives you an indication of your energy levels based on your sleep and any activities that you've done. Oh, and by the way, with each of these widgets, you can just simply tap on the screen to see more historical data. So like here with body battery, we can see how that has trended throughout the last 4 hours. And then to go back, all we have to do is swipe to the right. Next up, we have a stress widget, which shows your stress levels. There's a hydration widget where you can track your hydration levels throughout the day. Then we have a heart rate widget. And again, this is where we can just tap on the widget to show my heart rate for the last 4 hours. Next, we have a respiration rate widget, a music controls widget. So this is a widget that will control the music that's playing on your phone. But just note that the vivomove Trend does not have offline music storage. Next, we have a weather widget, and if we tap here, it shows the weather for the next 4 hours, and if we swipe up, we can also see the weather for the next 4 days. Then we have a sleep widget, which shows my last night's sleep with a sleep score, and then if we tap into here, it also shows my sleep stages. Next, there's the calendar widget, which shows the events from my calendar for my phone, and then we finally have notifications. And you'll be able to receive text and app notifications from your phone, including emails, and you can actually tap on each of these to read them. And with text, you'll be able to receive text and view them if you have it paired with either an iPhone or an Android phone. But if you're paired to an Android phone, you'll actually be able to reply to those texts with predefined responses that you can customize in the Garmin Connect smartphone app. But just note that your phone does have to be in range of your watch to reply. And in regards to why you can't reply to a text message if you're paired to an iPhone, Apple actually locks down that functionality to just Apple Watches. But getting back to the interface, so if we long press on the display, this brings up even more functions, including how to access the workout profiles. So here we can see the workout profiles it has to offer. So it has walking, it has running, a cardio profile, cycling, strength training, breath work, yoga, pool swimming, a treadmill profile, and then an other profile that you can use for pretty much anything else that you may want to do. And there's actually a few more workout profiles that I'll show you here in just one bit, so hold on tight for that. And then to start a workout, you just simply double tap to either start or pause your workout. And then from here, you have the option to resume, save, or discard your workout. Another thing that it has over here are functions related to the heart rate sensor. So it has a function where you can take an on-demand SpO2 measurement for your blood oxygen saturation levels. It also can display your VO2 max. It also has another stat here called your fitness age. So this is basically a little bit easier to understand figure than your VO2 max that you can use to gauge your fitness levels based on your age. And then you can also broadcast the heart rate that's being collected on your watch to a compatible fitness app like, let's say, a Peloton bike or Zwift. Then there's also timers, a stopwatch, and alarms you can set over here, and then finally some kind of more boring settings. And for one last thing with the interface, if we swipe to the left, this brings up a controls menu, and here's where it shows the time and a battery indicator, along with access to enable or disable a do not disturb mode. There's Garmin Pay, as well as a Find My Phone function. For the sensors it has on board to track your health and activities, it has a heart rate sensor, it has an SpO2 sensor for measuring blood oxygen saturation levels, it can track your respiration rate, it can also provide high and low heart rate alerts, it has an altimeter so it'll be able to track your floors climb throughout the day, but one thing that it doesn't have is built-in GPS, so to track distance for your outdoor activities, you'll need to have your phone with you. One feature I can't really cover properly though is women's health tracking, and this does have menstrual and pregnancy tracking. And then for battery life, the vivomove Trend can get up to 5 days of battery life, and it charges using an included clip-on charger, and this is a USB Type-C on this end, and this is actually just now the second Garmin wearable now to come with a USB-C type charging cable versus USB Type-A. But the biggest news really is that the vivomove Trend can also charge wirelessly, and this is some pretty big news in the whole scheme of things. It's the first Garmin wearable to offer wireless charging. It can charge wirelessly using pretty much any Qi certified charging pad, and it charges up just fine with the ones I already had laying around my house. And in terms of charging times, they actually don't differ all that much from the clip-on charging cable versus the wireless charging. So with either of them, it takes about 2 hours to charge them from completely empty to full, so it's not really a disadvantage to charge them wirelessly. And what's nice too is that if your battery is very low on juice, just placing it on the charger for just 15 minutes should give you an additional day of battery life. Oh, and by the way, for any of you that are curious, it does not charge on an Apple Watch charger, but I did find that it actually charges on a Samsung Galaxy Watch charger. And then on the safety and tracking side of things, the vivomove Trend has a feature called instant detection, where it'll attempt to detect if you get into something like a crash on your bicycle or something like that, and then it'll attempt to contact an emergency contact that you have set up in Garmin Connect. In addition, it also has a request assistance feature where you can simply tap on the screen repeatedly to send an alert to one of your emergency contacts. Let's say if you're in a situation where you kind of feel uncomfortable and you want to subtly let someone know that you may feel in danger, as well as a live track feature where if you go to start an outdoor activity, a link can be sent out to the contacts of your choice so it can actually follow along on your activity. So let's say you want to just let your family members know where you are on your run or your ride. But just note though that these safety and tracking features do require you to have your phone with you since it uses your phone's cell connection to send out all this information. And then for activity profiles, the vivomove Trend comes preloaded with those sport profiles I talked about earlier, but in addition to those, there's actually 4 more profiles available. So there's an elliptical profile, a stair stepper profile, a Pilates profile, and a toe-to-toe profile. But just note that you can only have 10 profiles loaded onto the watch at one given time, and you can actually only edit 8 of them. So walking and running always are going to be on the watch. You actually won't be able to remove those. But with all of these profiles, when you get done with your workout, you'll be able to save and sync these workouts with the Garmin Connect smartphone app, where you'll be able to view lots of information. Like here, this is a treadmill workout I did yesterday, and it shows all sorts of good information like your distance, pace, heart rate, estimated sweat loss, and intensity minutes. And then there's even more information like your lap information and some pretty charts. And by the way, the distance that it estimated while I was running indoors on the treadmill was actually quite decent in terms of accuracy, and it was just about 0.18 of a mile off from the distance recorded on the treadmill went on a 7-mile run, which is not bad at all. So like I was mentioning earlier, the vivomove Trend uses connected GPS, meaning that if you want to track distance while you're doing an outdoor activity like running or cycling, you'll need to have your phone with you because it'll be using the GPS in your phone. But if you don't want to have your phone with you when you're on your activity, you can still track your steps, heart rate, and calories burned, and then once you get back to your phone, you'll just simply do a sync with the Garmin Connect smartphone app, and then all the data will just be saved to your profile. And then to wrap things up, let's talk about heart rate accuracy. So the vivomove Trend did well, like extremely well. So like on this treadmill run here, it was nearly perfect. There was a slight delay in it picking up the rise in heart rate right at the beginning of the workout, which is kind of typical for a wrist-based optical heart rate sensor. But after that, it was basically spot on with the external heart rate straps that I was using as references. There were a couple blips at the end of the workout, but those are incredibly minor. This was really good in the accuracy department from the vivomove Trend. And then for indoor cycling, here's another workout on Zwift. And again, these are really good results. At the beginning, it took a moment for it to lock on to heart rate again, but after that, it was pretty much in line with the external heart rate straps that I was using. There were a couple minor blips here and there where it was about 2 to 3 beats per minute off, but those aren't anything to be concerned with. Anyhow, that's everything new with the new vivomove Trend, and it's certainly a nice upgrade over the vivomove Sport. I love that full LCD display. It really adds a lot more screen real estate for lots more data, and this watch shows that they're not really stopping with that hybrid smartwatch approach, which was also shown with the instant crossover that they came out with last year. But honestly, the biggest news about the vivomove Trend is that wireless charging, and well, that certainly is going to tell a story for future Garmin devices, so it'll be interesting to see how that feature gets implemented down the road. And yeah, if you have any questions about the vivomove Trend that I didn't cover in this video, make sure to leave those in the comment section down below. And if you liked the video, if you found the information in this video useful, do me a favor and quickly hit that like button, and also subscribe to the channel for plenty more sports tech videos that are coming soon. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.